So when Wrath of the Lich King Classic was announced, I was excited. I have such fond memories of Wrath of the Lich King. And I was like, oh man, I'm gonna play the hell out of it. And I did for a while. Um, but then I was just like, yeah, let me just I love doing dungeons. Let me just wait till they add Dungeon Finder. Well, there's not gonna be any Dungeon Finder because according to them, uh no Dungeon Finder. Players rediscovering Wrath of the Lich King Classic won't find the Looking for Dungeon feature originally added in patch 3.3.5. We've heard from our Classic community that the importance of social bonds is a big part of what makes Classic their game of choice, and we agree. Social bonds? You mean sitting there in a capital city for 5 freaking hours, spamming, looking for group, something, blah, 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 then good to go? Yeah, real social. Real social. And that was the problem. You know, the dungeon finder was great for people who, oh, I don't know, like right now, have jobs, have other things going on in their lives, and they want to get in to WoW, get on WoW for a little bit. And like I said, I love doing dungeons, but I don't have 5 hours to sit there and wait. I don't. I don't have that much time. And then even after 5 hours, when you've got your group together, say you're doing like freaking dead mines or something, you go all the way. You're in Ogrimmar. You're going all the way over to the Eastern Kingdoms. You're going through to dead mines, and then what happens? A person leaves, and then what do you have to do? You have to hearth back all the way to Ogrimmar or the nearest capital or whatever you can do, and then you got to oh dead mines looking for tank, then good to go. And then what happens? Another person leaves because people are impatient. So now you've got to look for another tank, another DPS, and the healer and the other DPS are sitting there. And then guess what? Then the healer leaves as well. Dungeon Finder puts you in a group with 4 other people, teleports you directly to the dungeon, and should someone leave, you just click the button to get someone back in there, and boom, sometimes it may take a little while, but it doesn't take 5 freaking hours. And it's good for people who have 2 jobs who don't have 5, 6, 7 hours to wait. They have that stupid tool that they have in retail that where you make a group or post for a group, but then you still have to sit there for however long to find people. It's just as bad. It's just you can go about your business as you're waiting, and you don't have to sit in the capital. But that also takes away the social part of it because you're posting a group and you see a little thing pop up saying that someone, you see all these people and you're like, yes, okay, a tank, DPS, healer. Okay, we just need one more DPS. I mean, it it takes away the social aspect as well. So what the hell is Blizzard doing? Oh no, they won't add in run Dungeon Finder. Oh, but they added the freaking WoW token. You sure as hell bet that they added that fucking WoW token, the thing that makes more money. Oh yeah, you bet they added that. Was that in the original classic Wrath? No, but they sure as fuck added that in, didn't they? Hmm, curious. But the whole social aspect, that dungeon finding tool that they have, that takes away the social aspect as well. So what social aspect are we, and why not just add Dungeon Finder for those who want to use it? You're not forced to use the damn thing. People like me who want to do dungeons who don't have 5, 6, 7 hours or however, because trust, it has taken that long. And back in the day, sometimes it would take that long just to run a dungeon. I mean, I remember Dead Mines taking like 2, 3 hours. Back in the day when, you know, CCing wasn't that great because there weren't that many great CCs at the time. You know, certain classes weren't really balanced. Dead Mines would take like 2, 3 hours. Um, Wailing Caverns, same thing, took like two, especially at the end where you got to escort what's his face, and he just slowly walked, and then enemies, and then he'd run all the way back and then slowly walk back to where he was going. So, the dungeons themselves take long. We don't have time anymore. We're most of us, when we were playing back when we were younger, we don't have time anymore. And it's not just easy as, well, if you don't have time, why bother playing it? Maybe because I want to play it. Maybe because I still enjoy the game. I enjoy running dungeons. Why not make it just possible for those people who want to run dungeons to run dungeons? Because the dungeon finding tool is just as bad. Because again, you don't have to sit in the capital city. If you're freaking over there in, I don't know, if you're in, you're leveling up and you're over in Crossroads or Stone Talon Mountains, you don't have to hearth all the way back to Ogrimmar to find someone, to find a group. You can just post a thing right there, but it still takes forever. Because guess what? On that server or realm or whatever, there may not be a lot of people. I don't know if it's cross realm on Classic. I really haven't played that much of it to know. But it's just, we don't have a lot of time anymore. Like the people who were playing when Wrath first came out in 2008, we're grown-ups now. We have priorities and families and jobs, and we don't have time to sit there to wait. And it's, yeah, bad change, terrible decision. The vocal 1% ruined the game. Good job. Bad idea. I actually want to try out Classic Wrath of the Lich King for a first time, but now guess not. For what reason? So more people don't have interest in playing? Who wants to sit for hours and trade and spam LFG? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No one wants to do that. That's not social aspect. That's sitting. Most people have macros and just, that's not social. It's not social at all. Cool. Only reason I was hyped for Wrath of the Lich King. I mean, there's still the option to form groups in the classic way. No one's forced to use the LFG tool. Literally the worst thing they could have done to Wrath. My interest in playing just fell through the floor. Yeah, agreed. The QOL is huge, and they could easily just limit it to the same server if the community aspect was a concern. Yeah, that's pretty freaking lame. Learn from private servers. Not having RDF sucks. Mm-hmm. Uh, classic Andy's rather have AFK mate. Yeah. So we have it kind of. So we have it kind of thingy in TBC. Worst change ever. This is what it looks like when the vocal minority are given their way. Absolutely horrible decision, and people, as usual, will see that in time. If you're not in a guild or clique of people that play with you, you don't have to get, you don't get to do PvE content in the current classic. Between bot spammers doing boosting in dungeons for levels and the absurd requirements people have created is just ruining class. Yeah, and that's not even a classic. Even in retail, you want to join. It's like, oh, you need this DPS and a minimum of this, minimum of that, and it's like, how can I improve? I'm trying to get gear. How can I improve if you're not allowing people? It's stupid. We've heard from our classic community. What community? On the forum? They're whining about everything. Just make a survey and allow all WoW players. Yeah, exactly. And again, they added the WoW token. That wasn't in classic. Hmm. Funny how everyone was into classic before for not having it. Way to ruin LFG for everyone that wanted to do content wherever. Great. Back to So back to spamming for parting global chat. Great change. Yeah, I don't do dungeons hardly at all in Classic as is, unless someone directly asks me to join. Dungeon Finder would have given me a chance to actually do dungeons regularly. Do not agree with at all with this change. Dungeon Finder was fantastic for me when I played it back and when Wrath was current. Really hope rather than not doing it all, they implemented it so that regular dungeons can be done on Dungeon Finder and not heroic, similar to how mythic dungeons are in retail. Yeah, like they're catering to the minority, like social aspects. Why not just add it? It came out in a patch, 3.3.5. It was part of Classic Wrath. If people don't want to use it, no one's forced to. It's not like when you subscribe to WoW, it's like, oh, by the way, you have to use Dungeon Finder. No, you have the option of just ignoring it. Why take away from again, people have said it's like we don't have time to sit around and chat and just spam all freaking day. Some people have lives. I've got 2 jobs. I don't want to sit there for 5-6 hours waiting for a group to form only to get where I need to go and then have people leave. And then I go, oh, gee, I gotta go all the way back there. Or even with that stupid tool, you form the group and you can just go wait by the dungeon. But then you'll be sitting here like, and then you look at the time, it's like 6 o'clock at night, right? And you're sitting there waiting, and suddenly it's 9 o'clock, and still no one's freaking joined the group. And it's like, well, I guess I'm not running the dungeon tonight. Whereas with Dungeon Finder, you'll be running the dungeon. Every poll I've seen is massively in favor for LFD, not just always the release point. So I really want to know what community is they are listening to. Yeah. The decision will keep the private server players on private servers and deter players with alts to just not play them and create a mass exodus of players who don't want to bother slogging through the cesspool that is in-game chat channels. What an incompetent, short-sighted decision. If this isn't reversed, Wrath Classic will be a dud. Yeah. Actually, what are some of the newer ones? I'm looking at all like the old ones. Let's see. Is there a way to find new ones? Uh, nope. I don't think so. For a player with limited time and odd hours to play, this is by far the single worst decision you could have made. They really don't play their own games, do they? Farming badges on alts for endgame gear by completing a quick LFT was best thing Wrath of the Lich King had to offer. Without that, I have zero motivation to even yeah. Like I love questing in Northrend, but I also love the dungeons. Wrath has some of the best dungeons, and not being able to just easily go into one and have to just sit there, like, well, here I am, you know, uh, Howling Fjord, just waiting at the dungeon entrance, and here I am, 3 hours later, still waiting. I don't want to do that. Because at that point it's like I might as well just stay in front because going off and then having to keep going back and forth every time someone joins, like, oh, I might actually get to run now. We have a full group, and then you get there, you get in the dungeon, and what do you know? Someone leaves, and it's like, okay, well, outside the dungeon we go. They did not think this through, and I heard someone was like, oh yeah, they decided to add it to the game, but oh, here we are in the patch that would have been added, and we're still, you know, nothing. Um, Thanks, Blizzard. I knew you were going to ruin Lich King. Don't count on my money with this decision. To Warmain. Yeah, I hear Warmain's a really, really good server, private server. Um, it's been around a while. We're, I mean, there's a lot of servers I've heard that are really, really good. I've played on a few of them. Um, I might have to just start doing that again. Like seriously, if I'm not gonna get LFD and freaking Classic WoW in Wrath Classic for retail, we've heard from our Classic community members, except when we allowed unrestricted server transfers and mega servers because that sweet transfer monies is good. Well, no Dungeon Finder means no Wrath of Lich King Classic for me. Thank goodness Dragonflight looks like it's gonna be good. Wasn't the current iteration of LFG added in 3.3 of Wrath? What the WTF Blizz? You know, and then you go over to the forums and same thing. People, please add 100, RFD, RDF, um, RDF server. Just add RDF. You know, people want RDF, and it's so stupid that they, like I said, they added the stupid WoW token, which was not in Classic, but they won't add something that was in Classic, saying that it's going to kill the social aspect. Again, you list your little group and you sit there. You know, you go about your business. There's no communication at all. So how does it kill the social aspect? It doesn't. This is Blizzard catering to that 1% of players like, well, actually, it kills the social aspect of the game, so it's better if the looking for dungeon tool is left out. It's much better for the economy and for the social aspect of the game to sit in there in the capital city for 5 hours, you know? But is Wrath pay is Wrath pay to win? Probably at this point. The innumerable pros of adding a random dungeon finder to Wrath of the Lich King. But we have, I mean, people are pretty vocal about it, and for some reason, a lot of uh the the threads and everything about it end up getting shut or deleted by staff, and I mean it's ridiculous. I just like I wanted to get into Wrath. Like I said, I love Northrend. I love questing there, but I especially with trying to get a character up to Northrend, I've leveled so many times through those leveling areas. I don't want to have to do it again. I wanted to be able to just go into Dungeon Finder, get XP in there, level up, get to where I need to go. But I can't do that. Now I have to go through that entire leveling process again. I have a Death Knight, but it's like I wanted my experience to be like the first time it was with my Warlock. But I don't feel like going through that leveling experience again. I've gone like I've leveled so many characters to max level back in the day. I don't feel like doing it again. I just want to get to Northrend and enjoy my time there because that alone is going to take forever. And having Dungeon Finder would be great because those old leveling areas, I don't feel like doing them. I just don't feel like it. I don't have time to sit there and especially with how long it takes. Oh, well, I need you to go all the way to this other zone and collect this freaking basket of apples for me and bring it back here. And of course, everything on your way wants you dead. You know, I don't have time for that. Like, this was back in the day where, you know, I took a flight path from Ogrimmar to, I think it was Gadgetzan, and it took like an hour. I was able to get up. I went downstairs. I made myself something to eat, went to the bathroom, this and that. And I got back and I still had like 30 minutes left. Flight paths were pretty brutal back then. And it had like a little timer. It told like the estimated time because they were slow, very slow. Um, so I just Blizzard, seriously, You added your stupid freaking WoW token, but you're not going to add something that was actually in Classic Wrath. What sense does that make? Instead of catering to people, how about just say, if you want, you know, don't use it. If you don't want it, then just don't use it. Again, it's not in the subscription field like, oh yeah, if you pay for this game, you have to use Dungeon Finder. No, it's there for people who want to use it. People like me who have 2 freaking jobs, who don't have 5-6 hours to wait around for a group to form. People who have families, who very sparingly get time away, to take time for themselves, and they want to play WoW for a little bit. They don't have time to sit around. Like, seriously, Blizzard, like the person said, do you even play your own games? I just, they sure as hell added that freaking WoW token. And miss that a chance to make that sweet, sweet money. Get it together, Blizzard. Seriously. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.